inFAMOUS 2 takes place in Marais, which is kind of a Southern American city, a little bit like, it's our take on New Orleans. It's not exactly New Orleans, but it's that same kind of city surrounded by swamp, and hot and muggy and historical and old. And so we showed some new parts of New Marais today. We showed some of the swamp areas and some of the old cathedral district. One of the reasons we chose New Marais and kind of a southern old historical city is that it's kind of maybe more made out of wood and a little more fragile, and so there's a lot more kind of opportunity for destruction. And the modeling team making the city has created a lot more breakable items and things that can kind of be messed with, and just flying stuff everywhere when Cole uses some of his powers. In addition to kind of being a more destructible city, is a much more kind of varied city in the shape of the buildings. Like in Empire City, all the buildings had flat rooftops. Well, that's not true in New Marais. There's kind of French buildings and Italian buildings, even some German design. And so it makes for a really varied parkour experience. We wanted parkour to kind of be at the next level in inFAMOUS 2. And so the ways that Cole can get around the city climbing are very varied. The city's kind of more dense and more detailed. Plus there's more kind of power lines that are running on the side of buildings, or vertical ones, are things that Cole can use to kind of shoot himself and navigate through the world much more quickly and cover more ground quickly. So we wanted the parkour experience to be kind of that much better than inFAMOUS 2. And both the design of New Marais plus some of the new parkour elements that we're adding kind of combine to kind of make it really cool to navigate around the city. We also showed some new powers that Cole has. He has a kinetic pulse, which means he can pick up cars and other large objects and kind of throw them around. It's a good thing to have, because Cole also met a new enemy today, which was the Ravager, who's one of the corrupted. They're a group of beings that have come out of the swamp and are actually attacking New Marais. And they're not exactly human. And the Ravager came out, and he can like dig underground and kind of shoot spores at Cole. And so Cole, can use that. The new power we showed today was a good against the Ravager. There's this power called the Ionic Vortex, which is shown at E3, kind of a tornado of electricity, and it's super awesome, like kind of letting it loose on all the verandas of the neighborhood that's kind of like the French Quarter, because everything just goes flying everywhere. So we knew that we wanted to have Cole to be very, very powerful, and part of that is to be able to create a lot of destruction. We've worked really closely with Sony's motion capture studio in San Diego, and they've been great about helping us define what works for motion capture and what doesn't. We've already captured cutscenes that we've been showing that are like the scene that we're showing here at Gamescom where Cole lands on the car that's driving Bertrand. That whole session was all motion captured, and it feels much more realistic. It's something that we've never done as a studio until inFAMOUS 2, and we were a little frightened going in, but it's turned out to be really great. And to be able to make much more engaging both cutscenes and regular animations for Cole and the different characters in the game walking around or battles. We're using it in a lot of very isolated spots, but it's really, really great to use.
But some shit never changes.
inFAMOUS 2 is coming out exclusively on the PlayStation 3 in 2011.
Well, maybe some things.